All right, so I have gotten my continuous glucose monitor from Costco. You get a prescription and then it's one sensor per box. Each box has a sensor, sensor placer, which I think is this is not very environmentally friendly. And they give you these 2 alcohol wipes. 2, I don't know why 2, I guess you could have a huge area in your arm. And then the instructions. I don't have diabetes, 1 or 2, and I do have a family history of it. And nonetheless, this journey into understanding how my glucose spikes and how my body responds to glucose challenges has been interesting, because it's made me realize that being a diabetic is very difficult. Because sugar is in everything. Added sugars are in a lot of things, and they don't categorize, the FDA doesn't categorize fructose as a sugar because it's processed in the liver, very much like ethanol. The work of Dr. Lustig in University of California, San Francisco has been very good. He has a lot of lectures on YouTube about sugar metabolism and the differences between that and then fructose and different other types of sugars. So I think that if you're already a diagnosed diabetic and you have a blood glucose level that's, say, greater than 140 milligrams per deciliter, that's a very difficult lifestyle change. It's better not to get there at all. And understanding your blood glucose with these little pinprick blood glucose monitors, that's a painful, clumsy, inadequate way to understand how your body is monitoring its own glucose levels. And I feel like the system is very geared against diabetics. The game is rigged for failure, and I just really honestly think that a continuous glucose monitor like this should be accessible and over the counter, where it is over the counter and fairly affordable in Asian and European countries. The United States is far behind in so many ways when it comes to technology that can empower the patient in taking control of their own health and not having to rely on polypharmacia. So I have not eaten for, let's see, 12, almost 18 hours, and that's considered normal for me. I don't eat breakfast. I may start snacking a little bit if I'm really stressed out at work. So I don't even feel hungry. That's another thing. Intermittent fasting is another tool that anybody can use to overcome metabolic challenges of any kind. And then not only that, but lose weight and kind of start relying on digesting, stored fats instead of circulating glucose and glycogen. Anyway, so I'm going to put this on for the first time. I did read the instructions and I watched a couple of YouTube videos. Continuous monitors are only covered by insurance if you have severe uncontrolled type 2 diabetes and you're past the diet and exercise, you're past the metformin, and you're at insulin pump. That's when health insurance kicks in and covers a continuous glucose monitor, and I kind of think that's wrong. And so there are a lot of startup companies that, like Levels and Signos and Very Health, they are trying to offer a continuous glucose monitor to the consumer as a monthly subscription, but those are extremely cost prohibitive, and they're basically, it's like nutrition for the 1%, and I don't think that's very right either. Actually, this technology is easily manufactured. It should be made available to everybody. So I think I'm going to use my left arm. I did shower. I didn't wash my hair this morning, but I did shower. Okay. And peel the lid off completely off the sensor pack and unscrew the cap from the sensor applicator. Sensor codes must match on sensor pack and applicator. Do not use if already damaged or open. No, I would think not. Peel the lid completely off. See, those little details matter. Okay, unscrew the cap from sensor. Here we go again. Oh my gosh. It looks like I'm turning it tighter because the camera's going backwards. The camera's on selfie mode, but I know that lefty is loosey and righty is tighty. Okay, thank you. Line up the dark marks. Line up the dark marks on the sensor applicator and pack. On a hard surface, press down firmly until it comes to a stop. I wonder if it will click. Okay, it clicked. Lift the sensor applicator out of the sensor pack. Okay. Ooh. That needle looks huge. Okay. You know, people always ask me if I do my own dental work. This is probably why. Caution, sensor applicator now contains a needle. Don't touch it or put it back into the sensor pack. Place the sensor applicator over the site and push down firmly to apply the sensor. And then gently pull the sensor applicator away and make sure the sensor is secure. So the way I saw it on YouTube was you go underneath your arm as opposed to going like this, because this is a little bit clumsier of a position. This is what the instruction manual says to do, but on YouTube people are going like this. My friend Laura Lee said the needle looks huge, but don't worry. Ow. Ow. Okay. Gently pull the sensor applicator away. Make sure the sensor is secure. Oh my gosh. How do you make sure it's secure? It's on the back of your arm. Do I try pulling on it? I'm surprised at how thin the adhesive is on there. I don't like adhesive on my skin. It's like a quick way to do it. I think this is it. And so apparently it takes an hour for the sensor to start working. So here it is. This is going to monitor my blood sugar. It's a flash monitor. It'll monitor it once every minute. And then I scan my phone over and it sends the data and graphs it into an app on my phone. This is iPhone and non-iPhone compatible. A lot of technical information here. The transmission range is 20 feet unobstructed. So what this is going to do is allow me to test my baseline fasting blood glucose. The sweet spot for blood glucose levels after a meal is 105 to 115 after a meal. And that's actually fairly low. So that's going to be a challenge. I have a book that I just got here called The Glucose Revolution. You can follow the author of this book on Instagram by her handle, The Glucose Goddess. And I'm really excited to read it. I've been waiting to get this book for weeks. I ordered it and it was back ordered for a while. she's got a lot of hacks to help decrease your glucose spikes. One of which I'm going to try is drinking a little bit of water with a spoonful of apple cider vinegar. Apparently, somehow, loading your body with that apple cider vinegar will really help to decrease the glucose spike, as well as eating your starches, like your potatoes and your rice, at room temperature or cooler. Adding a fibrous vegetable starter to your meal. So that makes sense now why restaurants serve the salad first, but avoiding the bread basket. What else? Oh, and if you are going to eat breakfast, which I don't, eat a savory breakfast instead of a sweet breakfast, and to do dessert after a meal instead of eating sweets in between meals. So avoid sweets. Alrighty, I'll let you know how this goes. Whew. My arm doesn't hurt anymore, by the way.